The White House says this is the year Americans will reap the benefits from President Trump's policies with tax cuts, deregulation, and trillions in business investment. And timing is key with the midterm elections in the fall. The president told Larry Republicans can keep control of Congress if they just get the word out on the economy.
When a president wins, Republican or Democrat, they lose the midterms. We're going to change that. I hope. We're trying very hard. We're going to change it. We inherited a country that was going to die. We had a dead country. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. That's said by everybody. We have the hottest country in the world. I guess I have to sell that because we should win in a landslide, and we'll do everything we can to do it.
Indeed, new data out today shows that the U.S. economy added 130,000 jobs in January, much better than expected. If you believe them, Larry, which I do, Brian doesn't, weigh in.
Well, Taylor, I'm surprised. It's actually 172,000 private jobs.
I know.
Because federal jobs are shrinking.
I know.
At a very rapid rate.
Yep.
What did I see? The federal payroll is now the lowest since 1966. Did I see that someplace?
Maybe.
It sounds about right.
Larry Lindsay's newsletter. Yeah, so it's a good number. I'm sure Brian's just right generically.
That's a
everything
spirit.
that comes out of the government, you can't believe a word of it. Probably the jobs went up 300 or 400,000 private jobs.
Thank you.
Because we're on our way.
There you
Brian
go.
thinks they were zero. They were all made up by the BLM.
Say that. I said they were I thought they were 500,000 in the household survey.
Yeah,
Well, he's right. By the way,
go.
that's not a small point. That's the household survey, which tends to pick up smaller businesses, but from which the unemployment rate is derived. And unemployment's gone to 4.3. So let's see, in November it was 4.5, in December it was 4.4, and in January it's 4.3. So the trend line is very good. And the household, 528,000. 528,000 is a very big number. And the last 3 months it's averaged 271,000. That's a pretty good number. And the private payrolls, I mean, again, I'm not disagreeing with Brian that these are phony, weird numbers, but they are what they are. So you're picking up steam. Like, okay, so the 1 month was 172 private. 3 months, 103.
Yep. What was the number?
12 months, 51. So the trend line, the trajectory is rising. So that's pretty good. And also, here's one. Hours worked, did you see that? Hours worked for production workers were up 0.6%. And so when you take average hourly earnings, which are up 0.4, and you want the so-called wage income proxy, which is important, you know, how much income, we all talk about affordability. So that's a big number just for the month, 1%. 3 months, that proxy is 5.6% annually. 5.6, that's huge. 12 months, it's 4.8. The inflation rate, I don't know, the 3-month inflation rate, the core rate was about 1.5 something or other. But even if you use the 12-month, was 2.7 or something. I'm just saying wages are rising almost twice as fast as inflation in recent months.
And that's good news.
And that is very good news. And, you know, the president's point, I mean, he's got to get the word out. But the numbers are very good. And I want to mention just one other thing, and I'll shut up. The Committee for Prosperity, whatever it's called, you're up now. The Gallup poll is showing a turnaround. 49% favor the economy, approve of the economy, versus 36% that disapprove. Those numbers have finally crossed over. This is in the last couple of months. Here's my point. You know, he started in... he gave that White House talk in, what, mid-December?
Yeah.
December something?
The evening speech?
Yeah, the evening speech. And they've all been kind of pushing it. And one reason he interviewed with me yesterday, he's wanted to get the word out. But I'm saying they've started to campaign on a better economy. And I think the polls are starting to pick that up. And I think we're going to see more of that.
Dare I ask, how then do you cut interest rates with numbers, strong numbers that you just cited? Brian, dare to answer that.
Well, if you use the Fed's broken model, which says a strong economy means inflation's going to rise, then this is all very bad. Right. And that's where I get nervous about the numbers being wrong on the high side, because if it goes into the broken model, then you're going to get bad monetary policy. But if Kevin Warsh fixes things and he includes this crazy idea called productivity, which allows for growth without inflation, then none of this stuff is a problem. But I do think I got a little testy in the first hour, Larry, because I said, you got this 130 number, which I don't really buy that number. It could be higher. But my point is, if in this Fed, with that number, Larry, this Fed says, whoa, don't cut rates in this environment. The economy's too hot. And to me, that's a problem. That analysis is a problem.
Can I just bring this together with a wonderful guy who's no longer with us, Bob Novak, who I know Larry knew very well. Yep. He used to say, always love your country, never trust your government, which I think we would all agree with, right? Always love your country. And when the country's doing better, you should be happy about that. And the overall message, I think, from all the stats that we got out today is that the country's doing better. So we should be happy about it. And the president spoke to that point to you, Larry, when he said, you know, if good news is not supposed to be bad for the economy.
Do we have that clip, or no? If we don't have that clip.
But that's basically what he said, and I think he was right on the point.
He said it in Davos. He started in Davos, his speech, which, if you ever have a spare minute, was quite a good speech. But yeah, and we talked about it. In the old days, good news was good news, and bad news was bad news. And what did he say? You're old enough. He said we're both old enough to remember those days. Now today, I thought we had it. You were emailing me. But then as the market still sagged lower, I haven't seen it in the last hour.
Yeah.
But this is because the Fed is afraid of growth. And Jay Powell's got thankfully only a couple months left. But you want a new regime. Kevin Warsh does not believe that model. He's going to change that model. And so I say you could lower interest rates, the Fed's target rate, if the inflation rate continues to ease lower, okay? And productivity is really important, that Brian mentioned. It's hugely important. So we'll wait and see. You get a CPI Friday, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, these numbers are so staggering. But we'll wait and see. But the key point that the president talked about was growth can actually bring inflation down because of productivity, and you're producing more goods. You're putting more goods on the market, which could drop prices. I don't think the energy impact, energy has kind of stopped falling because of Iran jitters, I suppose, 14 million barrels a day. But that's going to bring the inflation rate down whenever those, I think mid-50s on oil is something. So, yeah, this is a great number.
I have a question for you on the growth side of it. He's always very, very optimistic, and I love his bullishness, but I would be happy with even 6%. I think anybody would be happy with 6%. So the forecast right now is for 2 rate cuts this year, being conservative, because there's an improvement in the labor market. Maybe inflation goes down, they have some wiggle room. If we got 6% growth and 2 rate cuts, I would pigs would be flying somewhere.
Rejoice.
Yeah.
I know. You're absolutely right. Look, he said we should grow at 15%. But, he's an optimist.
Maybe over 3 years?
He tends to embellish, right. And then I said, well, 15 is a big number. But then I thought about it, and I think he was talking about 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Absolutely.
The end of his term, maybe.
And all the lefties are screaming at him.
Right.
But, let's wait and see. Your scenario is fabulous. And I think we could see a 6% quarter or two. Who knows? You're absolutely right.
Or high fives, I'll even take. I'm not greedy here. Anything would be better than what we have seen. And even if we were just holding the trend lines would be great. But over that, people should be happy. Instead, the left keeps trying to poke holes in everything he's trying to do.
You're right. And I'll jump shift to, it's sort of boring, but the budget deficit. So there's Richard Rubin writes his usual pessimistic, cynical column in the Wall Street Journal. I love the guy, but he never changes. Russ Vought, on the other hand, and Kim Strassel wrote this at column Friday, good column by Kim. So the growth factor alone is bringing the deficit estimates down. It's a very important point. Already, what's in the bag, and the fourth quarter may come in around 4%. So he's got that cooking over 10 years, the tariff revenues over 10 years. And then if you reduce the deficit, that reduces the interest expense over 10 years. So Rubin got the story wrong. He's using CBO numbers, first mistake. But actually, we're making some progress on the budget
I'm glad
deficit.
you brought that up because everybody's saying cut the spending, cut the spending. I would love to see the spending cut, but I realize how difficult that is to do and to get consensus in Washington to do it. So I'd rather go around Washington, get the deficit down this way.
Growth.
Right?
Growth.
And will it bring wages up?
Well, so far, I mean, this part of this number today is a big wage number.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, and by the way, it was for everybody, production workers and all employees. So that's an interesting point. And the work week has picked up, by the way, for everybody. My guess is you're getting some kind of second win here. I mean, I think you're going to see really big numbers this year. I mean, isn't that what the stock market is kind of telling us? If you believe in that very old-fashioned idea that profits drive stocks, profits drive the economy. Stocks are not a bad forecaster; they're not perfect. I mean, it could be a banner year.
The S&P is only 35 points from a record.
The one thing that disappointed me was no second reconciliation bill, or at least he said probably not. I mean, did that surprise you that he was negative on that?
No. What surprised me is I asked the question. I mean, because it was, it's the Steve Fork. I want to get the capital gains tax down. I want to get the income tax down. So I tried, but no, he swatted it away. I think the most disappointing thing, and I hope he shifts on this, is Jay Powell is a dummy. He's inept, and the whole cost overruns thing is a bit of a scandal. I grant you that. But as Senator Tim Scott says, the head of the banking committee, it's one thing to be inept, it's another to be a criminal. He's not a criminal. And right at the end, and so I asked the president directly, are you going to back off, work this out? And so he has, it was kind of interesting. He blamed Jeanine Pirro for it, who, she did launch it, and then he said he wasn't for it, so there's plausible deniability. But he didn't say, yeah, we're going to work this out. I'd like to see, get that done. Kevin Warsh right now is going through all of his credit checks and FBI checks. Get him up to the banking committee. The sooner we hear Kevin's view of the world, right, even before, right, just in the committee hearings, which is terribly important, and it's a sophisticated committee, the banking committee. The sooner we hear that, the better off we're all going to be, and that eases the Jay Powell worldview out and brings in the Kevin Warsh worldview, which is growth is good, particularly when it's supply side or productivity led, to your point, Brian. Let's get that done. I mean, he inept, absolutely. Nobody undermined Fed independence more than Jay Powell. I mean, he has just done a terrible job. And no, he's not much of a builder either. But is he a criminal?
Different story.
I don't really think so.
I want to save some time for the next blocks. I just wanted to point out on the jobs numbers, on the good side, construction added 33,000 of the 36, likely helped by data center buildings. Manufacturing hired 5,000.